Alright, folks. Now we're going to talk about how to get away from just fiddle tunes and into this world of playing breaks over songs that and breaks that sound authentic, and how to get your fingers used to following the human voice and not just pretty, lovely, pretty, awesome. Everybody loves, all fiddlers love fiddle tunes, but playing a break is a different thing. And so the first thing we're going to do is on this intermediate level is talk about ways to get your fingers more nimble over scales. And so this part feels a whole lot like work, but there are certain patterns that are used over and over and over again. And so that's, if you can just learn a few scales in each of the keys that are commonly sung in, even the closed positions, or the B's, the B flats and things, it'll actually really propel you a long way towards being able to play a whole host of tunes, or a whole host of breaks, over these songs at jam sessions or wherever you, or home, or along with records, whatever you want to do. And so we're going to, there's a whole video on theory and all that, and so I'm not going to go quite so much into that, but we are going to go over the scales and just some helpful patterns that you can practice that helps your mind and your ear and your hands to all understand each other. Okay? So this first group of tunes here we're going to do are going to be out of A, so we're going to cover the A scale, and we'll do a different video for each of the other scales that we're going to talk about. Okay? So the A scale, and we're just going to stay in first position, because most of the important fiddling is out of first position. Okay, here we go. So the first note that you're going to do is just a standard A major scale, is a G sharp, and you can actually catch a G sharp here on the G string. So G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. Now, and then you go down. Okay? So that's your A scale. But how to practice patterns? So one of the things that you can do is start on the scale, go up a certain number of notes, and then come back to the note you started on. Okay? So what I mean is this. Let's start over here. Let's start on A. Okay? A. Right. So okay, and then you'll go to your next note in the scale. In this case, a B, and you'll play up 2 notes from the B. So B, C sharp, D. B. Then you'll go to your next note in the scale. C sharp, D, E, back to C sharp. D, E. And all the way up. Okay, you can also do this coming down. G sharp, B, A, G sharp. Then next note down would be F. F sharp. F sharp, A, G sharp, F, E. And G sharp, F sharp, E. And that's the pattern. And what you want to get to is where you can do it fairly fluidly, like, you know, like. You know, something like that coming down. And, you know, there's no magic thing about 3 notes. You can go up 4 if you want. You know, I'm not as used to that one, but pick out your own patterns, that's fine. Okay? But get to where you can go up and down fluidly, where it feels easy. Okay? Now, the other thing that's really important is using the A scale with a flattened 7, or what we call Mixolydian mode. If you want to know more about modes, theory section has that. And but anyway, you'll probably hear this, but it's very simple. I've said this before in other videos, I know, so forgive me. But all it is just flattening your 7th note. In this case, it's a G sharp down to a G. Okay? In A, your 7th note's a G sharp, so you flatten that down to a G. And you can play all the same scales instead of the G or G sharp, you choose a G. So you can actually then you can start, say, on an open G here on. Yeah. Something like that, right? So you want to be able to do that fairly fluidly. You know, honestly, it comes and goes. Like, you can get it great 1 month, and then a couple months from now, like, you try to go back to it like a tune. But it'll and it's like that. It shouldn't, you know, happen immediately and perfectly for me, whatever, you know. But you want to practice it and review it just as kind of a little warm-up thing, and to teach your fingers the directions they should go. Okay. So the other thing that we want to include here are pentatonic scales, or just other using like 5 notes at a time. So one of the most important in one of the most important is using the 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1. Okay, so in that case, if we're doing like that, the bluesy or Mixolydian mode, it would just be using A, C sharp, D, E, G, A. Okay, and then we can go all the way up with that. And so we'll go A, C sharp, D, E, G, A here as well. And you want to get to where your fingers can feel pretty comfortable with that as well. And basically try to get it clean first. Okay, clean as you can, up and down. And then try to add speed to it. try to get it basically as quick as you can, but it's still got to be clean and the right notes played. And then the other thing and it doesn't have to just be those notes, right? So we can also throw in other things like or you can throw in the F sharp instead of doing you can do a 1, 3, 5, 6. 7, 1, or flat 7, 1. Okay. The other thing to work on here is arpeggios. So you want to be able to go out of A, you want to be able to hit the A, E, C sharp, A, E, C sharp, A pretty consistently without too much thought. And so, okay. And then you can add in other notes as well, the same way that you can do 5-note scales or pentatonic scales. You want to be able to throw in, say, an A, F sharp, E, C sharp, A. And how many songs start out with, you know, or coming down, it comes across. Something like that, right? A, F sharp, E, C sharp. You know? So learn both the just your general A major triad, but then also throw in other notes. And the most important other ones to throw in are the 6th note, would be the F sharp. Okay, and try to get that to where it could be pretty quick, where it feels easy. And then also just throw in the flatted 7. Okay. And you can use the major 7 if you want, just the G sharp. And then the other important thing to do is make sure that you can do things like this. So we talked about notey stuff, right? We've talked about arpeggios, like, you know, skipping a few notes here and there to be able to, you know, get from one place to another pretty quickly. And that holds a lot of those standard note sequences in so many tunes. Then the other thing you want to be able to do, especially in bluegrass and any blues-based music, are slides, okay? And the most important slides that you'll learn in any scale is sliding on the 7th note, the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th. And it's that actually lends, probably I would say, if you had to do one thing, that's sort of the thing that lends the most authenticity to a blues-based music, is learning to slide like a human voice would. So you want to learn to, so say let's go to our 1 note, pick an A somewhere on here, okay? Pick an A. And you want to be able to do that. Okay? Just slide up into it, slide back down from it. Okay? And then you want to do the same thing with your flattened 7. And just imagine, a blues thing. Now that just kind of sounds like a bird squawking or something. But look. Right? Just a 3 sequent note, and you can kind of get that feel like. Alright? Or a. And then, alright, so that's my flattened 7. I want to be able to go up into it and back down from it. Okay? And then the 5th. So the 5th note out of A is an E. And so there we got to be able to slide into the E. So we got to use our 4th finger here, because you can't, make an open string slide. So, okay, so that's sliding up and down. Okay? And then same with our 3rd. So our C sharp, okay? So just learning those parts of those scales will take you a long ways toward authenticity. And then once you do that, practice combinations of different slides. And I think one of the most helpful ones is learning to slide off of, say, the 5 and up onto the 3, right? It's got that. Make sure you can do that. Slide down on the G, up on the E, then back down a little, and then up from the C to C sharp. Alright? And so practice combinations of these. Right? And there's just and a lot of this you can come up with yourself. You don't need a set number of exercises or anything, but if you just make sure that you can slide around on all those on all the 1, 3, 5 and flat 7 of the A scale, and that'll take you a long way. Alright, so those are my scale tips and tricks for now, and we'll see you in the tunes. See you.